The House of Abigail is a curated range of collections of designs, prints and patterns. We offer a wide range of papers and cloths to enable you to achieve your own modern British heritage inspired scheme. Really, my education started as a child with many wet summer holidays being spent at National Trust properties or British heritage sites, and that early education of being taken around these grand houses and filling out the quizzes, I realise now laid a foundation of an appreciation for that style and that kind of classic British heritage. Dwellings are so important, and they're built by people and they're made by people, but they are for and where human life plays out. With the children's collection, inspiration came from elements of my own childhood. I designed a whole range thinking about trips to the seaside and British days at the beach. And so we've got everything from, a mummy whale and her little one, all the way through to starfish, thinking about rock pooling. We've done a collection on May Day, very much inspired by the fun of the fair, and created a range of patterns which has that kind of nod to tent stripes and bunting. I draw really heavily on that foundational architectural training, so I turn to historical architectural print detail books and taking real inspiration from the forms and the shapes. I absolutely love flowers, I love gardening, and I really love the etch detail of historical botanical encyclopedias. So they'll start as a line drawing initially, sketching by hand. I like to use a fine liner or a soft HB. I really love drawing and sketching on trace, and then I will scan that in and digitally manipulate that line drawing to a scale and an orientation. And then once you've got the form set, I then go back and think about colours and think about, well, what colours would suit this print, and then designing a series of colourways that accommodates that. One of the things that has always been a real frustration for me as a designer, working on sets and photo shoots for big brands, has been I come home and I try and emulate that look in my own home, and I feel that frustration. I think the reason it's tricky in a lot of the modern newer build homes that most of us live in, me included, is that the proportions and the scales of these spaces are hostile to these larger, bigger heritage prints. So we've tried to be very mindful and very conscious of that when we've been developing the home and the children's range with House of Abigail, and thinking about scales and proportions. That's not to say they won't work on those more lofty Victorian ceilings. Like if you're blessed with a lofty Victorian ceilings, our stripes and our vertical botanicals will absolutely still rise up and accentuate the height of your room. But we've been mindful about the scale of everything still working if you have a 2.4 ceiling height. And so hopefully by embracing our range and our collection and being mindful about how you house those more modern pieces that make life happen, you can soften the corners of a new build home and create a modern but heritage inspired look, whatever kind of house you live in.